Hello, agus fáilteamh don video háirithe seo ar son an clárú racham a chur bhóg. Welcome to my virtual video launch. I'm delighted to be able to be here to release my new album, Gaol, which means love, which is available from tomorrow, Friday the 11th of December on general release. I started this project around about 18 months ago, and it's probably been a little bit longer and a little bit more challenging than I would have expected when we started. But I've been really lucky to work with some amazing musicians who have been willing to kind of make it happen. Some artists, filmmakers, producers and promoters to be able to bring you this video tonight to celebrate the launch of the album. I also need to thank Creative Scotland for financial support to bring this virtual launch to you tonight, and the videos that you've seen on my Facebook page and social media pages over the last few weeks. It's been lovely to be able to release an album in a slightly different way. So this video is going to give you a little glimpse of behind the scenes, a chat with some of the people who are involved in making the album, and let you hear some of the music, of course, that is on the album too. And remember that you can order the album at any time now from my website www.rachelwalker.co.uk, and it's also available on Bandcamp for digital streaming and releases. I hope you enjoy this video. Bí mi bio as dé seo Facebook son bacon capadich no mavis kish and biakov. I'll be live on Facebook after the end of this video for a chat and to answer any questions you might have. But in the meantime, my dog is going to be sure course to I hope you enjoy this, and I'll speak to you afterwards. Big thank you to you all for all of your support, your kind words, and for sharing and liking all the social media posts. I'm really, really grateful for every single one. Míle taingeef.
Yeah. So how did this project kick off for you? Where did the idea come from?
I think I've been thinking about making an album for quite a long time. It's been 10 years since I made a last solo album. And since then, I think in terms of me as a person, I've kind of learned a lot and changed a lot and started doing a lot more writing than I had been doing, I think, before. So this project was really about being able to record some of my own songs and to kind of grow kind of a little bit outside. So whilst really kind of respecting the tradition of Gaelic song, which I do, and it's been really, really important to me, but also to kind of think about how does that grow and how does that change and how does that evolve, and some of that for me is making sure that there's new songs, and so I think it's taken so long because it's a scary prospect putting across brand new songs, especially in Gaelic, but I think this project is kind of, as it's gone, I think I've kind of got a little bit more confidence in what I'm doing. I think as a singer, especially because a lot of the songs are my own, it is a bit like kind of saying, well, here you go, this is me. It's quite an intimate thing, you know. These are my songs. The songs are all about love, all kinds of different love songs. The album's called Gaol, obviously, and it's not. The songs are kind of inspired by my experience, but by stories from other people, by experience that have happened to friends and family. Kind of, they're all kind of personal in a way, and I think when you lay things like that out in a collection like this, it's a really personal thing. So, you know, releasing it is really exciting to let people hear it, but it's a bit scary as well, because it's like putting your heart on your sleeve and saying, here you go.
Sias mi en slag djurach or saun en oiden im taf ma saun kan fjalle geide vau ma saun kan fjalle gas jeto jali shall white of volley me make brach ma saun kan fjalle geide vau.
One of the big kind of things for me was actually singing in this room, and just feeling totally relaxed. I mean, a lot of the time I've been set up beside a wood burning stove, and just being able to really kind of concentrate on just singing and giving a really nice performance. And not only that, the room is lovely and the room sounds lovely. I think just being in this space and being with somebody who's totally encouraging and it just feels like it's okay. You've got the time to kind of mess it up, or it doesn't matter, you can start again. It just kind of feels different, and it feels more friendly and a lot more relaxed for me. And that's I think it's been a big part of being able to really sing the songs. Is kind of being in this space and with a friendly person.
So this project was both probably one of the easiest and also most challenging projects that I've ever worked on, simply because of the coronavirus crisis happening basically in the middle of the recording process. So everything was going really smoothly and we were well into tracking, and Rachel had got almost all the vocals down, and there was a point where we were about to start putting in strings and drums and various other things, and then the coronavirus crisis hit. So my role changed quite drastically in the middle of the project, from being somebody who was able to give kind of immediate feedback to performers and actually working in a very traditional way, to somebody who was almost kind of, to a certain degree, facilitating home recordings for people.
Hello, my name's Rory Gunley. I had the pleasure of playing drums on Rachel's new album. All the drums that you hear on the album were recorded in this very room, in my garage at home. Obviously with the whole global pandemic that we're all facing at the moment and lockdowns and whatnot, it meant that we couldn't get into a studio and record things. So yeah, I recorded the drums here at home, which is obviously a lot different to what I'm used to. But I was incredibly happy with the end result, and it sounds amazing.
Hi, my name's Alice, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about how we recorded the string quartet on Rachel Walker's stunning new album. We were really disappointed because we were hoping to be able to go and record live, but then lockdown happened, so we couldn't go. But we were really keen to have live strings on the album, so we decided to record remotely from home. And we did this by stacking the parts one by one. So we started with cello at the bottom, sent that to Jamie, who put it onto Rachel's tracks so we could send that to Roz for viola, and then she was able to hear the cello part. Then we put those two together on the track, sent that to Katrina for second violin, so we had the three, and then finally Jamie put that together for then Ben to record the first violin on top. So what you hear is us listening to each other but recording one by one from our own homes remotely. But then just the final thing to say is what a great privilege it is to be part of such a beautiful album, and we can't wait for you to hear it.
Hallo, is Mr. Seamus Grahamach, Sammy Jirach son Fachgulnaga Ra Nachlarurik Rachel Walker. Hi there, James Graham here. Well, Rachel asked me to lend my vocals on a few of the songs on her new album, which I was delighted to do. We recorded these back in February up at St Mary's Studio near Appin, just before COVID and lockdown hit. I've known Rachel for almost 20 years now, and in that time I've worked with her on many different projects and recordings, and it's always a pleasure to work with someone so creative and original. The songs and arrangements on our latest offering on this new album, Gaol, are totally inspiring, and it was a real privilege to be involved in.
Hai o hwle dynia, Marcus o Sean Dunagin agus Hammondachas Kavashivil Islan is Salvage Fadavelship. Mark here in Edinburgh, and I hope you're all keeping safe and well wherever you are. Well, abba la mode hasho agus a kuj clad ood. Edvok, a son renech hashitidach scanyal. I'm really pleased to be with you to help launch Rachel's new album, Girl, and it has been a labour of love. Year rena jaram bekanada man froses cruel holovakinia. Mare a hanik da oran avashin kabul. Is sound litlach. So I was asked to tell you a little bit about the creative process that brought the two songs that I was involved with into being. The first was La Luang, The Day That Never Comes, and for both of these songs we had two songwriting sessions there at the Scottish Poetry Library, so more than thanks, and many thanks to them for allowing us to use the beautiful library nod to create new work. For both of them, La Luang agus Tíide Sald, Rachel came to me with some pretty clear defined ideas. She had the first lines of La Luang already in her mind and an idea of the narrative, which we then developed. It was kind of like just drawing the boxes of the structure within which we got creative with all the colours and the imagery that really made the song what it is. With Tíide Sald, she was more aware that she wanted to do a walking song, which was a new adventure for me. I'd never written in that style before, and also a clear narrative that she wanted to tell within the song. So again, gave me some clear pointers with which we could go back and forth, talk about imagery. Also, a lot of dictionary work. We like to put a lot of idiom and a lot of interesting vocabulary into the songs. So Dwelly was a great resource, and Anfachtelbeck. It's great to get words that aren't perhaps as used as much in contemporary writing back into the canon, so that we enrich the Gaelic that we're all using. For me, it's been a really enriching process in that I have learnt more about rhythm, about traditional structures, particularly different forms, song forms. That doesn't necessarily mean that we've stayed completely bound to them. We have played around with them to make it a bit more contemporary. But yeah, a really great experience. So Milta Neoch ar ein eich hamidírach edmagaig langucht agus hamindachas gobidjo oich akaf uya.
Struag na kroshinje grai, aun in yelan marag and tra.
So the video of La Luan came about through a conversation with Rachel Walker, and one day we've been talking about her new album and the possibility of involving some artwork with that. The song La Luan features the water, and it is based on characters who will never meet, which is a really sad concept, but we loved the idea of looking around our local area, so we concentrated on Arisaig and Mora, and looking directly into the water there to look at the different textures and colours from a perspective that people normally don't see it from.
Those lovely shallow inlets and archipelagos around the Arisaig coast allowed us to film the textures of the seabed and see some beautiful dreamlike combinations of movement and colour. They work so well as a backdrop for Ali's drawings, but we needed to experiment quite a lot finding the right light. They change so dramatically between sunlit and shady conditions.
On top of that, I wanted to add a little bit of subtle storytelling, just with some drawings and some words, pulling out some of the beautiful Gaelic words. The drawings of characters or people within the video are trying to relate to the idea of a couple who can never be together. The concept of the birds came about from a previous trip that I had on the Sound of Rum with the shearwaters, and actually sailing through some shearwaters. So the words that are on the screen throughout the song were the words that I've picked out, phrases and words, which just really highlighted to me the feeling within the song. Another great word which we've used that I've pulled out here is mian, which is wish or desire, which is a wonderful word.
Although the shots and the artwork in the video relate to Gaelic culture and our location here in the west of Scotland, I think with the abstract nature of those shots looking down into the water, I hope that anyone can reflect their own thoughts of yearning, the islands and the loneliness of the sea when watching and listening to Rachel's song.
Struak na chrošině graj, aun yn jelan marag yn trai, ach stog yn oenig yn fai, sir halach yn jelwai, es clachan crican gynrach, sin tefritef, gach bryd alys mian fasgyr, bachelet chladig gyr.
Struag na chrošině graj, i'r bates rymor o braif, gyn chawbys gyn caich gyriliwn, gyn dynier I byrwyd yn stwyr, ach gag iawych jawrach i'r tawn, sciawn nwy ar slian ar ffawn, gach bryd os na hoetje gan tla, yn strwad gainch gyldrast yn ta. Struak na chrošině graj, aun yn baleg yn osiad y taif, solish y jarsag y cian, y fahag ffiws y grian, Israel yn landes gyrstwai, gyn y fan yn sinio
I think one of the reasons why it's a great record is because it has a really great arc to it, and I think it covers a lot of ground, but it feels coherent as well. It's definitely, for me, it's an album. It's not a collection of singles or collection of individual songs. It works as an album. Rather than necessarily trying to present it in a concert performance, we've been more interested in presenting it in such a way that it becomes a little bit more immersive and enveloping to listen to. And I hope that that comes across on the record.
I think there are quite a few albums now where people are combining Gaelic and English, but for me it's kind of different. I think my last album had one English song in it, but it was mainly Gaelic. But I think it's kind of, you know, when I was starting out, there was a kind of formula as to what you would have on an album. So you'd have a walking song, and you'd have a set post, and you'd have a slow song, and maybe something very kind of old and traditional. And I think kind of taking the step away from that kind of what I had felt was like the formula for what you would do as a Gaelic singer has been quite a big one, because at the same time as really wanting to respect the tradition, I also kind of wanted to do my own thing.
There's a scar on my finger where a promise burned my skin, and a bruise where I let the heart break in. There's a cold rain falling in a river of my tears, and a long dark path I've walked through all these years. But it's over now. It's over now. There's an old wound healing underneath the cloud of pain that makes me scared to give my love again. There's a time for breaking and a time to grieve, and a time to put my heart back on my sleeve. 'Cause it's over now. It's over now. It's over now. It's over now. There's an angel singing a song I used to know, and she's melting away the winter snow. There's a warm wind blowing and a smile on the breeze, and a longing that's brought me to my knees. And it's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you.
I'm Aaron Jones.
What's your involvement in Rachel's new album?
I got involved with the album in February this year and recorded at the studio up in Oban. And then with one thing and another, this year I ended up finishing my parts on the album from home, studio down in Dumfries and Galloway. The track All For You was a lot of fun. I just really liked the song when Rachel sent the demos and they were just kind of in their bare form with, you know, pianos and things. That was one that I could immediately hear, you know, parts on, and so that was nice to sort of bring that one to life. I really enjoyed working on it. There was lots of space on the album and lots of great other musicians, which has been a privilege to work with them, so it's been good.
One of the things that I'm really keen on in the studio is something happening all the time. I don't like dead time in studio. If I'm in here, I like things to be happening. And working with Rachel, it's so easy to keep that momentum going, because not only is she very prepared when she comes in, but she's also very good. And I know that sounds like a glib thing to say, because we all know that she's a good singer, but she's extraordinarily good. And the harmonies and layering up parts and actually simply just getting a good take is relatively trivial. It's really straightforward. You just stick her in front of the microphone and put the machine in to record, and you've pretty much got your final take. And that's at the heart of the whole record, really, is that. Everything else is window dressing around that. If that bit isn't good, it doesn't matter what I do, it's not going to make a good record, because the focal point isn't there. And with Rachel, it's there all the time.
I hope that it makes people feel something. I hope that people listen to the songs and can identify with something in the song somewhere. And I know that, you know, like the whole lockdown period, I found the beginning of it really, really hard. And I know that people find things really hard, and that in some situations music's really helped that. So I hope that maybe, you know, if this does anything to kind of help people, or to be something they can connect with, or something they can enjoy, then I think that's a job well done. I think it's really kind of trying to make a connection with people. If people can connect with the music and what it sounds like, then I'll be really happy.
Gach blad fo vlale, sinnig yn la,